China's rape, sterilization, and state control of Muslim Uyghur women. For those in a hurry, here's a short summary of the topic. Behind Xinjiang's barbed wires, Uyghur Muslim women endure systematic abuse in China's so-called re-education camps. Survivors recount forced sterilizations, injections halting menstrual occurrences, and sexual violence carried out by guards with state approval. These acts are not isolated. They form part of China's campaign to crush Uyghur identity and erase an entire generation. Even outside the camps, women face surveillance, coercion, and control over their bodies. This is not security policy. It is genocide disguised as governance, targeting women's dignity, faith, and fertility to annihilate a people from within. Now the complete version of the topic. The nightmare of Uyghur Muslim women under China's oppression. In the far western region of Xinjiang, behind barbed wire and under the watchful eyes of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, the most horrifying chapter of modern repression unfolds. The world has heard whispers about China's re-education camps, but the truth inside them, especially for Uyghur Muslim women, is darker than anyone wants to admit. These are not correctional facilities. They are concentration camps where identity, faith, and dignity are systematically erased by China. The victims are not just imprisoned, they are broken, humiliated, and controlled in ways that defy humanity itself. A system built on terror. China's campaign in Xinjiang is not a matter of security or counterterrorism, as Beijing insists. It is an orchestrated attempt to destroy the Muslim Uyghur people from within, psychologically, culturally, and physically. At the center of this machinery of destruction are women. Uyghur Muslim women are being weaponized as targets of state violence, subjected to the most invasive and inhumane acts imaginable. Their bodies have become the battlefield on which China's campaign of assimilation and domination is waged. The camps are factories of fear. Survivors describe the so-called vocational training centers as places where walls echo with screams. The lights never go off, and guards patrol constantly, barking orders in Mandarin. Women are forced to chant slogans praising the Communist Party and President Xi Jinping. Refusal or hesitation invites punishment, ranging from isolation to electric shocks and physical torture. But physical torment is only one side of the cruelty. What happens to Uyghur women in these camps transcends torture. It becomes a calculated assault on womanhood itself. Violation as state policy. Reports from international media and human rights organizations reveal the horrific truth. Sexual violence inside the camps is not random, it is systematic. Survivors recount how guards would drag women from their cells at night, leaving them shattered by rape and abuse. There are accounts of mass rape sessions where women are forced to watch others violated, breaking their spirit through fear and shame. Those who resisted were often beaten or starved. These acts of violence are not spontaneous, they are sanctioned. They are part of a strategy to humiliate, dehumanize, and erase Uyghur identity at its core. Rape becomes a weapon of genocide, a means to destroy the reproductive autonomy and social fabric of a community that refuses to submit. The assault on fertility. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect of China's campaign is the attack on Uyghur Muslim women's reproductive health. Former detainees have described forced gynecological exams conducted under armed supervision. These examinations often lead to forced sterilizations or the insertion of contraceptive devices without consent. Others recount being injected with unknown substances that halted menstrual cycles, leaving lasting health complications. Some women never regained their fertility.
Official Chinese statistics, when examined closely, corroborate these testimonies. Birth rates in Uyghur majority areas have dropped dramatically, falling by more than 60% in just a few years. This decline is not a coincidence. It is the outcome of deliberate population control policies imposed on one ethnic and religious group. While Han Chinese women are encouraged to have more children, Uyghur Muslim women are punished for doing so. This grotesque double standard exposes the racial and ideological motives behind China's actions. Beyond the camps, the surveillance of daily life. The abuse does not end at the camp gates. Even outside, Uyghur Muslim women live under constant surveillance. Cameras, checkpoints, and informants ensure that every movement, prayer, and word is monitored. Many are forced to live with Chinese officials under a pair-up program, where male cadres are sent to stay in Uyghur homes, often when husbands are detained. These so-called relatives invade privacy, sharing beds with the women they are assigned to supervise. This coercive policy blurs the line between control and violation, reducing Uyghur women to tools of domination. Those who manage to escape Xinjiang carry the trauma with them. Their testimonies, documented by organizations such as Amnesty International and human rights organizations, paint a consistent picture of systematic abuse, psychological torment, and sexual violence used as instruments of state terror. The silence of the world. Despite the growing mountain of evidence, global responses remain cautious, muted, or conveniently political. Governments and corporations hesitate to confront Beijing, fearing economic backlash. The same China that builds concentration camps also builds roads, sells cheap goods, and holds debt over nations. Breaking the chain of denial. Each survivor's testimony is a piece of the puzzle that reveals a larger crime against humanity. The world cannot afford to treat these stories as isolated incidents. They are part of a pattern, a coordinated campaign of ethnic cleansing disguised as social stability. China's treatment of Uyghur Muslim women is not an internal issue. It is an international outrage, a moral crisis that tests the world's commitment to human rights and justice. Every forced sterilization, every act of rape, every silenced woman is proof that genocide is not a thing of the past. It is happening now under the watchful eyes of the global community. A small request in between. If you find this podcast interesting, so I'd appreciate it if you'd give it a like. You'd also be doing us a huge favor if you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you. The face of brutality. What makes this tragedy so appalling is the cold efficiency with which it is carried out. There is no chaos, no mob violence, only state machinery operating with precision and purpose. Bureaucrats draft policies, doctors perform procedures, guards enforce obedience. A call for accountability. The international community must confront China's actions not with statements, but with consequences, sanctions, investigations, and the pursuit of justice through international courts. The testimonies of Uyghur Muslim women must be treated as evidence of crimes against humanity. If you consider our statements to be exaggerated, check the sources listed below, and you will see that our article corresponds to the sad and dangerous truth. Sources: United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR, Assessment of Human Rights Concerns in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, 2022. BBC News: Their goal is to destroy everyone. Uyghur camp survivors speak out. February 2021. Reuters Special Report: Sterilized, Silenced, the Persecution of Uyghur Muslim Women in China's Xinjiang. July 2020. Human Rights Watch: Break their lineage, break their roots. China's crimes against humanity, targeting Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims, 2021. Amnesty International. Like we were enemies in a war. China's mass internment, torture, and persecution of Muslims in Xinjiang, 2021. Associated Press investigation. China cuts Uyghur births with IUDs, abortion, and sterilization, June 2020. Washington Post and Guardian reports first-hand testimonies of camp survivors, including Torsani Ziauddin and others, 2020-2022. A quick request. If you found this podcast interesting so far, I'd appreciate it if you'd give it a like. You'd also be doing us a huge favor if you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.